You want to say hi? Okay, anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna get down into this little studio here. First of all, I realized that the video title is probably a little bit misleading. Sorry, it's gonna get a little dark here. But the video title is a little misleading because clearly I did not get into a car wreck. Clearly I am perfectly healthy, perfectly fine, but I thought it would get your attention. So if you were watching right now, then it did exactly what I wanted it to do, right? Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is about risk. You know, I kind of got back into gym roan recently, and it's actually because we had a conversation, me and my grandma and my mom. My mom posted something on Facebook about Pokemon Go, which supposedly is like the new big game that everyone is playing. And it was my grandma actually brought up that the news said that lots of people are getting robbed, or they're paying so much attention to their phone that they're walking into things or walking into traffic or crashing their cars, all because of this game, right? And so the way that she put it, it sounded like, like the game is at fault. Like somehow the creators of the game, created this scenario where a bunch of people are going to get injured and robbed and hurt and stuff like that. And somehow this is the responsibility of the game developer. And you got to consider, these game developers, they're doing what they love and they're making a living, and it has nothing to do with them. It's these people that are just staring at their phones mindlessly, like totally absorbed and completely oblivious to their surroundings. How can, if you're texting and you walk into a wall, is it the fault of the text messaging technology? Is it? And clearly the answer there is no. If I want to look up other statistics here, let's say cars, right? How many people get injured or killed, and how many thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent on property damages from cars crashing into some shit, right? Does that mean that cars are bad? No, it doesn't. It means that some people should not be driving cars. Some people are idiots, and that's just the way it is. Like, do we really need a video game to know for sure, to let the public know that the world is dangerous? Is it really not that obvious? Like, the world has some dangers, it has some risks, and it's your responsibility to make sure that you are aware of those risks and that you're not a fucking idiot. Pardon my language, but that's just retarded. And those of you guys who have been watching for a while probably heard me mention that I do not have cell phone service right now. I haven't had a, quote, real phone. I haven't paid my phone bill since I was in Miami. I got stranded in Miami. I lost my cell phone, and I had to buy a phone to make sure that I had Google Maps. I knew where I was at. I could contact people back at home, to make sure, just to make sure that my trip was not 100% shitty. So I spent a bunch of money on a new phone down there, and then when I got home, I spent literally all my money in Miami and had no money to pay the bill again. It's going to be back on soon. But anyways, this experience of not having a phone and looking at the world around me and seeing everyone around me, all my family, all my friends, constantly just like this all fucking day. It's like, come on, seriously, what about the world? What happened to human connection? I'll be talking to, I'm not going to name any names here. I'll be talking to someone, and I'm talking to them, and they're like, and fucking with their phone. And I'm like, are you serious? Do you think I'm talking for me? No, I'm fucking talking to you, dude. Why are you looking at your cell phone the entire time? At least, at bare minimum, look up once every fucking 10 seconds and just acknowledge that I exist and that, you're hearing what I'm saying, rather than, anyone could go, a deaf person could go, and I would think they were listening, and they're fucking deaf. Seriously, you have to look up from your phone every now and then. I don't mean to get all agitated here, but I wanted to bring up this Jim Rohn quote that I thought was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's 100% true. Those of you who have been watching a while know that I love Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's possibly even been more of an influence on me than Tony Robbins, who learned from Jim Rohn. But Jim Rohn said life is risky, right? He said it's risky from the time you're born. He said, you know how risky it is? There's no way you're gonna die, basically. So life is, what was the exact quote? He said, you know how risky it is? He said, you're not getting out alive. That's what he said, yeah. But how true is that? Come on, think about it, you're gonna die someday. Life is risky, you know. He said, you know, getting married is risky, starting a business is risky, having kids is risky, eating food is risky. You don't know if there's fucking food poisoning in it, but you cannot allow this risk, this possibility of bad things happening to stop you from achieving the good things in your life. And this has been a problem for me for my entire life because I'm a super analytical person. Like, I like analyzing things. And if I don't know if you've heard of this, but analysis paralysis, I get stuck in this indecisive mode where I cannot do shit until I know everything about what I'm getting myself into. And in terms of drugs and stuff, it's been a blessing as hell, you know, because I could have been one of these stupid fucking users that creates a stigma in the world that everyone thinks that, you know, doing heroin one time is gonna kill you and all this stuff. And I'm not saying, I'm clearly not condoning the use of drugs here, but at the same time, I mean, if you're gonna use drugs, you're gonna use drugs. So you might as well do it with the knowledge you need to remain alive. You know what I'm saying? Because I've lost friends to it. You know, I've lost friends to drugs. Like, I've lost friends to drunk driving. I've lost a lot of people in my life. And the majority of the time, I'm not gonna insult people that I've lost over the years, you know? I mean, I'm talking lost to death, you know? Clearly, I have all the respect in the world for them, and I miss those people. But at the same time, a lot of the cases that brought them down that road to ending up killing themselves or getting themselves killed was because they did not know everything they needed to know to get through that situation safely. So I really just want to clarify here, you know, life is risky. Life is risky. There's always going to be risks. But, you know, you have to gauge the risk and you have to make sure that the risk is worth the reward. And it doesn't always seem that way. I mean, and you don't want to get stuck in this place between risk and reward, you know, because indecisiveness is like the biggest killer in the world. Like, so 99% of people in the world are indecisive. They don't know what the hell they want to do with their time. They want to do something with their life. They want to follow their dreams, but they don't want to put the risk in. Like, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to be at risk for the possible negatives in that scenario. But it's like, okay, so do you want to, you're not going to achieve your dreams if you're not going for the risk, but you're not going to be happy unless you start moving in that direction. So that's all I wanted to say. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this one opens some eyes because this is something I'm really passionate about, clearly. And I don't think enough people realize that, you know, life is risky and that you have to take risks in order to succeed. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have not done so already, please click the subscribe button below and give it a thumbs up or a comment. I would really appreciate it. And anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, actually, 7-day challenge.